Are you a Southerner tired of people lying and slandering about the Confederate history, monuments, and flags? Maybe you're a Northerner wanting to see the war between the states from a Southern perspective. Maybe you frankly don't care about the Union or Confederates. Maybe you just want to sit down and read a good book on the Civil War. If any of these sound even just a little bit like you, then you might want to stick around and hear about Seabrook Press and one of the most profound, well-researched historians I've ever personally seen, Lochlainn Seabrook. Seabrook Press is a publishing company based out of Tennessee. They mainly publish books about the Civil War, but they do have plenty of books on other parts of history and other extremely fascinating topics. Colonel Gabriel Lochlainn Seabrook, commonly known as Lochlainn Seabrook, is a historian, screenwriter, musician, artist, genealogist, and photographer. He currently holds a world record for writing the longest, most well-researched book ever on General Nathan Bedford Forrest. His work, A Rebel Born, has a bibliography of over 2,000 books. 2,000. Other more popular books on the general, such as A Battle from the Start by Brian Steele Wills, comes nowhere even close to being as well researched as A Rebel Born. Now, I know what most of you are probably thinking right now. This man is simply a Southern extremist with crazy ideas about the Civil War not being over slavery. And if you do think that, then you couldn't be farther from the truth. Lochlainn Seabrook is in no way a racist. In fact, the Colonel goes out of his way to show you the racism of both the North and the South. He's not an apologist who thinks the Confederacy was perfect. He points out in his books when something they did was wrong. He realizes Jefferson Davis isn't an imperfect god. As much as he loves General Forrest, he still criticizes him and his works. Yes, he may try to show you a different perspective, but if that's a bad thing, have you considered maybe you're the extremist? We'll agree with you on one thing. Mr. Seabrook can easily show anyone that the war wasn't over slavery, that the South did not secede because of slavery. Lochlainn Seabrook perfectly composed exposition upon exposition in his over 50 books on the Civil War that the South was not fighting for slavery, which is something both Abraham Lincoln and Jefferson Davis agreed on. Lochlainn Seabrook shows the South seceded and fought because of a tyrannical big government who wanted to control them and tax them to death. Now you may be asking, why don't you show us these facts? And my answer to that is, this video isn't about the war between the states. This video is just to show you how awesome Seabrook Press and Lochlainn Seabrook are. Back to the book, Seabrook Press and Mr. Seabrook perfectly put these books together. Almost every book begins with a small introduction to the Civil War, for anyone unfamiliar with the conflict or needing a refreshing. It's a really small thing, but really thoughtful. I love the way Colonel Seabrook writes his books. The chapters don't just run together, they're separated into different topics. This not only makes finding specific facts easier, but it also aids in reading, making it less tedious to read. And the way he writes, it's so easy for anyone to understand. He explains everything in terms everyone can understand. He makes everything simpler for anyone to pick up and read. He doesn't try to make his writing fancy and glorify anything or anyone. He uses straight up facts to defend his arguments, which is really nice to see from someone. Now let's talk about pictures. Now not only do the book covers always look awesome, but the books are filled to the brim with pictures. Rebel Born, there's literally over 200 pages of pictures. There were so many I had never seen before. It was amazing. Now that index, that index. I'm someone who loves rereading certain parts of books, and how extensive an index Lochlainn puts in his books is very much appreciated by people like me. It's small, but I adore it. As I've already told you, A Rebel Born had a bibliography of over 2,000 books. Lochlainn Seabrook researches, then some more, then some more, then some more. His bibliographies are practically little mini books within the books. Now, my only complaint is that in some of his shorter works, such as Forrest and The Great Impersonator, he references some of his own works. While you can go back to those books and see the facts to be true, I just kind of wish he had put those books in rather than his own books, as to look more professional. But that's just a nitpick. Now what the heck are you waiting for? Go buy some Lochlainn Seabrook books. They're sold on Amazon, eBay, Barnes & Nobles, and tons of other book retailers. You can also go down to searavenpress.com, link in the description, buy some there. I'd love to give a special thanks to Seabrook Press for sponsoring this video and send me some of their books. I love them so much I had to buy some more for myself. I hope you all enjoy this video and don't forget to like and subscribe.